make enough plays to win the ball game, you know. I mean, nothing really else to say about it. It's just, we know we didn't make the plays to win the ball game.
Coming off like last week's performance, how does this team follow up with what happened today?
I mean, back-to-back 40 pieces, you know. You're not going to win ball games doing that, you know. You got to stop people to win ball games, you know, and we didn't get it done.
This team hasn't historically had penalties like you had today. If you had to put your finger on why they happened, what was the reason for all the penalties?
I don't know. I mean, I have to watch the tape and really see, but what I really want to say will get me fined, so I'm not going to say that.
What do you tell the team after a loss like this with still the season to go?
Stay together. Stay together and fight, you know. I mean, ain't much else you really can say. It's like, you know, we down, and nobody's coming to save us. We got to get back up and fight, you know, and, you know, figure out a way to be, you know, to win one ball game, you know, figure out a way to win a football game, you know. Keep people out the end zone, score points, score more points than they do, you know.
How hard is this emotionally? Because obviously you guys came into the season with playoff expectations, and it just seems like nothing has gone right.
Well, you know, when we give away wins earlier in the season, you know, these ones hurt a lot more because we put ourselves in such a big hole. You know, sometimes in football, things are just not going to go your way, you know, and it's tough to win in this league when things don't go your way. But when you lose games, you know, things go your way, or when you know, feel like you're in a position to win ball games, you know, it makes this a little bit easier to handle. But right now, I mean, we're just not playing good enough football. And so, you know, it makes the earlier losses hurt a little bit more. But at the end of the day, like, this is what have you done for me lately business. And the only thing that matters is the next game and trying to find a way to win a ball game.
Calais, you kind of going off of that a little bit, you talked about how important this year is for you. Just kind of how are you handling the emotions with this?
I mean, I'm staying present. You know, it is what it is. You know, it's football. You know, today I didn't play good enough for us to win a ball game. You know, today this team as a whole, we didn't play good enough to win a ball game. And but like emotionally, like it's football. You know, you go out there and you compete at the highest level. You know, and you know, I competed. You know. Just didn't like the way the results went, you know. But that's how it is sometimes in this business. But you know, emotionally, I'm gonna go out there and play football next week the same way I always have. You know, I mean, you know, I've been whipped before. You know, in this football game, I mean, it's gonna humble you real quick. You know, and so you know, I definitely been beat. I'm still gonna play, you know, to my standard always. You know, even if things don't go my way, I'm gonna play to my standard always.
Paris, how do you begin to process a loss like that?
Yeah, I mean, this loss was hard. This loss is hard to process right now. I think the best thing I can do is continue to get on the film tonight and, again, continue to prepare for the Jaguars right now. I feel like, you know, the process that we have is something that I personally believe is right. Now it's up to us on Sundays to, again, to put that together, you know.
What gives you the confidence?
Why so many today?
Again, I believe we just have to play a cleaner game. You know, myself included. I believe that that the call that was made for me on the holding, you know, it's up to the judgment of the ref. You know, personally, I have my own feelings about that. But again, at the end of the day, I cost, you know, the team. I hurt the team with that. You know, me jumping off sides, hurt the team with that. You know, I can't allow it to happen. But again, overall, we just have to play cleaner. You know, we're not going to try to sit here and want to blame the refs for, you know, calling us 18 times and 49ers one time. We're not even going to talk about that, but we're going to try to, all we can do is take the accountability. We can't sit here and try to point fingers because ultimately we as the players, we let the game get way too far out of reach.
What do you say to the guys to keep everyone together after back-to-back tough losses like this?
I think you have to go around and you have to share your appreciation for the fight that everybody has through the whole match. But again, it's one of those things where it's time for us to take that step, you know. And I went around talking to guys. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm glad you're here. Like, everything we have in this locker room is all we need. We just have to take a small step this week. You know, I think if you continue to do the same thing and you expect a whole different outcome, that's what the definition of insanity, right? So I think I believe in everything that we have, and I believe in the process that we have during the week. But I think all we need to do is take another small step forward and then start to grow from there.
Harris, you talked about the commitment to the process. Just after a loss like this, where does that belief in the process try to shine out the most?
Yeah, I mean, I have full belief in the process. I have trust in JG. I have trust in our whole staff and everybody on the line with me. I believe we have the right people here. I think it's time to execute. It's like you don't have a lot of room for these kind of errors, you know, myself included. And I believe that we just have to start to clean things up. You know what I mean? Because the score, there's a disparity in the score, but I think really when you get down to the film, it's going to be small things that cost a lot of yards, cost a lot of plays, cost a lot of opportunities. So we're all going to continue to reevaluate ourselves, to look within ourselves, to hold ourselves accountable so we can get that right next Sunday.
I know the final result is the only result that matters, but Jacoby passed for over 450 yards. Can you ever find a silver lining in a performance like that when you have a result like this?
Yeah, I think that's incredible. I think it's incredible. I think that speaks to the resiliency of the guys and on this team, not choosing to look at the score, which, like you said, is the result that matters the most at the end of the day. But I think it's guys like that are going to fight through the entire game to try to pull us back in the game. And I think that's huge. And I think guys see a guy like that, and we're going to continue to follow him because he's choosing to make that decision each and every drive. So, I mean, I thought that was tremendous for him.